Hey vinyl community, Steve here, FlipSideCT. Hey, I'm back with part 3, the last session of my Portland trip. Last video was part 2, showing a couple stores and some video footage. This is 2 stores and some video footage for you more, and finishes my Portland trip. I am showing this week. I usually do a video every 2 weeks. And I am going away next week, so back to San Diego with my wife, with my son, visit my daughter, going to San Diego, and maybe one day LA. Hope to pick up a record out in LA, so I'll tape a store out there, tour quickly. And that's about it. So I'm just gonna, I know what I want to mention. A friend of mine texted me. And he didn't call, he texts, and a 50-year-old guy. He says, I got a U2 ticket for $350. I said, dude, I won't pay the Stones $350. I saw U2 back in the 80s, that's all I needed to see. Stops there for me. I'm sure it's a good show, but not $350. Enjoy yourself, have fun, let me know. And I said, where are the seats? And he says, somewhere in the back. I said, wow. So I said, what does it cost for something up front? And he wasn't sure, but, what's got to be, $800? $9,000? I don't know. So I went online. I didn't look at the prices, but I just saw this. I can't imagine spending hundreds of dollars and having this in front of me when I'm seeing a show. I'm old school. I don't know if I would have an argument with somebody, but something would happen because I would be pretty pissed off. And another reason why I won't go to a show in today's world. This just can't happen. It's just not rock and roll for me. And anyway, so I got 2 stores to show, and I had a little time on a Sunday to squeeze in about an hour and a half, 2 hours to go to a store called Mississippi Records out in the suburbia. I wanted to get on a bike. The bikes were not available. I had to get a Lyft, like an Uber. Took me out there, $10. Okay, it's in the middle of a neighborhood, and it's a record store in the back and a cafe in the front, and just in the middle of a neighborhood. So here's some footage. Let's look at it.
I got a woman. She live in the poor part of town. And we make love so fine, so fine. Daddy, what's wrong with it? I don't know. But I wish you could come on home. You know what she said? She said, you're a fool to cry. Sit down on the shore. I'll tell you something. He's gone on.
Mississippi Records, it was kind of small. It had a little punch to it, and the prices were kind of mixed. Mississippi Records is the label, and bravo to them for carrying this out, because they support the local older bands, newer bands, and also world music. They have a lot of about 230 albums that they put out. So it started off when a worker back in 2003 asked the mom and pop of the store, "Hey, I'm doing a solo record. Can I use your name of the store as the label?" Next thing you know, end of story there. Well, not end of story, but the story goes on. So Mississippi Records just moved on with the label. So they have a lot of those records there. Online, you could check things out. However, the woman behind the counter was not so engaging, not so friendly. I was not pleased. In fact, as I was looking, I would listen and I would see her talking probably to people she knew and laughing, but didn't give me any of that. So, hey, it is what it is. A lot of different choices here. 3 listening stations in this store. Bravo to them. Really, really cool that they had that. This is what I got. I got to get this for a collection. Hits of Les Paul, Mary Ford. $2. And has a bunch of hits to it. And it's just fun. It's just... if you don't have any Les Paul music, hopefully know Les Paul, who he is. If not, look up the Gibson guitars and look up Les Paul and etc. But you got to have one of these, at least for the collection. I've been wanting to get this album. I'm way behind. Many people have this, talked about it. This is Endless River. And this was sealed, and I think it was $16. I had to get it then and there, and Wright is in it, Mason, and I'm a Gilmore guy. I could see and understand why some of the Floyd enthusiasts didn't care for it. It just is very melodic, very Gilmore-ish background, a little bit of the synths in there. Totally Gilmore album. And if anybody been to Mississippi Records, comment, let me know. I'm most likely not the first to talk about it. In the next store, which I'm going to talk about, let me know also. I think a couple of people commented already and know how cool it is. So, I left the store. I was hungry. Something cool about Portland is they have food trucks. And it's not just one, but there's like several of them lined up so you could have a choice. Or the sort of permanent vendor little, they'll pull down the front window and close it up, vendor little booths. And this was in the middle of the neighborhood. So I had fun going in here. And I took a lift back home, and it was a 2-lane road back, and all going a one way. And this lift woman just goes behind a bus, and it's like stop and stop and stop. And the New York in me just kicked in. And I just said, ma'am, I'm sorry, but you got to go around this bus. I can't take it anymore. Eventually after a minute, she got in and anyway. So my wife came back from the show she was at and tired. She says, I got to take a nap. When I go to a city, naps are not heard of. I will sleep when it's nighttime and I'm out. And I said, opportunity. Yeah. 2nd Avenue Records is what I had. I took the subway in, just a hop, skip, and a jump. Got to 2nd Avenue Records. Cool record store. Let me show you some video.
bands that come out of Portland. Changed the rock and roll scene here in the Northwest.
How long's this store been in business?
1982.
82.
Yep.
Wow. Great store.
Thank you. Appreciate it.
It's been a while. We're like a 600 square foot store, and eventually got bigger. Grunge, just cool vibe, as you could see, shirts hanging all over. Very dimensional, very 3D inside the store. Was not plastic, and it was fun to look through. Diversity of albums. Talking to the first worker, very cool. We engaged, we clicked, we talked, we geeked. He was into punk, of course. I talked to him, and he seemed to know a lot of albums, a lot of music. So it was fun. And then the owner kicked in, and we had fun. I asked the guy, the worker. I said, "Look, I want to know about a band that's indigenous to the area, and a punk group. What can you tell me that's pretty representative of the town?" He said, "Well," he was the Neo Boys. So I told him, okay. I looked him up on my phone, and I said, "Look, I'm not going to guarantee I'm going to buy this, but let's see." He goes, "All right, cool." So I listened to him, and I said, "Yeah, I think I can." So basically, I'm going to say it's not a fantastic, you got to get this album, but it's definitely a historic piece. I use that word a lot for the time. They were back. It's an all-girl punk band. It's not a hard punk band. It's a softer punk band. But what really makes it is the woman's voice. The guitars are pretty simple. They're not thrashing. The sound is simple. It's very clear. Very simple multi-track recording. Very good quality. To the point. And lyrically, really cool. So in '77, Portland had a lot of rednecks, is what I found out. And the punk scene had to go underground, and it was big in the gay community. So the gay bars, the gay clubs are the ones that featured them. So they would play, and they are pretty well known in the area. I enjoyed this record. I think it's cool to have. I'm glad I have it from my collection to make it really different. It's an acquired taste. It's not for everyone. Like I said, it's historic, and it leaves me with a good memory. So, Neo Boys, bunch of cool gals. As you heard, they talked about Dead Moon. I saw the shirts hanging above me, and I asked him, and he told me that they're the ones that changed and influenced the whole rock and roll scene in Portland. I said, "You know what? Where's their album?" And I took it out sight unseen. I said, "I'm going to go home with it." Didn't listen to it until I got home.
Going out of control, nowhere to turn, nowhere to hide. I got a train driving through my head, even better in my bed. A telephone ring.
Fred Cole, his name is. It's a guy from the 60s. I don't remember all the history. There's some documentaries out there on Dead Moon. And there's some books, really good books about it. So I encourage you to look it up. I'm not going to go through the whole history here, except that he was in some bands in the 60s and was kind of well known, some singles. He met his wife-to-be at a club in '67. They were 18 years old. They got married. Sort of a romance story. They played together, and during the 70s and 80s, country music, hard rock, punk music, they started playing. Dead Moon was formed in '87 until 2006. And It's just historic from there.
Most Kiwis probably haven't heard of them, but cult rockers Dead Moon have already shown their loyalty to this country. They turned down the chance to bill with Nirvana back in the States to keep their commitment to tour here.
We've confirmed a booking and somebody calls up and says that we have something bigger to play. We don't cancel the small one to play the big one. We play the small one and tell the big one that we can't do it. Yeah. We've always done that.
Hate the blues.
There's very few people that were like in bands in the 60s that understood punk rock.
I met Tootie.
You got your wife?
Yep. Yeah, I've been married for 34 years, yeah. We got like 6 grandkids, but
At first she was just, okay, I'm just standing here and playing my bass. And then over time, she's writing songs, she's doing...
Why do we then pretend someone still believes that ain't me? I'm still shipwrecked and confused.
The sound is really cool. The voice is so unique. The guitar playing is really very cool. Single guitar, 3 pieces. Andrew Loomis is on drums, but Tootie doing the bass and vocals, very unique. And like I said, I encourage you to check them out, listen to them. Very cool band to have for my collection, and I'm really happy I got it and talked to the guy and saw those shirts. Mississippi Records also, so bravo to them for reissuing this and getting it back out. And I know there's a lot of you who may know about Dead Moon. Comment, let me know your thoughts, experience. There's another album that I've been wanting to get, is the New York Dolls live album. Kind of hard to find a good quality one. This is pretty good. It was for a radio broadcast, live in concert, Paris '74. So they were pretty peaking at that time, doing a lot of touring in the States, over Europe, over in England, looking cool, jamming, playing with all different of folks, all different. $5 a ticket, unbelievable. They really, I guess, were eye-opening for a lot of folks. Now, the Dolls, they dressed that glam, but they were just that heavy rock and roll, that whatever you want to call it, a genre. I'm not going to go into it, but I think the glam was just more for the image that they put together. And then you got your offshoot of Johnny Thunders, etc. So this is a fun period of time. Great cut, Hoochie Coochie Man Willie Dixon's on here. So really love that track, and I'm glad I have it for a collection. So limited edition, if you still want to get that. I don't see it around, so I picked it up there, grabbed it, and I knew I was getting it. That's all I got. End of Portland. So I got a lot of video to show, a lot of cool records. I keep saying that in my videos. I'm excited to show you some cool music. So hopefully you'll check it out. Hey, hopefully you got something out of it. Hopefully you're listening to music. Play those records, listen to them. It's definitely therapy for today's times. Thank you, VC. I look forward to seeing you again soon. Bye-bye.
Music joins everybody. It doesn't matter if you speak the same language. It doesn't matter if people understand your lyrics. It's the feeling that you're getting from everything, and it's universal. It doesn't matter what country, and it's one thing I love about playing around the world. I can't hardly speak English, let alone anything else. I know the worst words in every language. So it's like, and that's all I know. But it's a universal theme, and without music, I think the world would just literally, your soul would die. You need it.